good reading in there as supplement to this lesson. So there's the fern. And again, we don't normally would expect that ferns would somehow spread themselves across different continents readily. All right, and that would take quite a bit of intervention in order to get these ferns to spread across both continents. So far we've looked at the rock formations, we've looked at the fossils, and then the next thing I want to talk about are the ancient climates. And this is where, again, this is where, to me, I think this is where it gets its most important pieces here. First of all, I noticed that we have coal in Antarctica. Understanding what it takes in order to make coal really helps us understand the history. So remember we talked about the common themes, right? So the great common themes for this course, I told you guys, keep this in your binder. You should get to use it on the final exam, guys. This will be a question on the final exam. I'm going to tell you that right now, so you guys might want to start writing these things down. So one of the common themes here is, again, the story that the rocks tell us. When we find coal in Antarctica, what does that tell you? We get that evidence, coal's in Antarctica. Now use your knowledge, and what does that tell us? Had it been a warmer climate, right? We don't find coal in cold climates. So definitely had it been warmer. What else? Yeah, it had to be a whole bunch of life, right? Go down to Antarctica today, what's down there?
Penguins.
That's about it. And even and you change polar bears only at the North Pole.
What about the penguins on?
Okay, so yes, they do have penguins on Antarctica.
Thank you.
And those penguins are only found within the first 50 miles from the ocean shore. Outside of that, there's no other animals on the entire continent. Narwhals are ocean, and they live near the continent, but not on the continent.
You should just love this class.
It's just
Amazing. Now, one of the other things that we don't expect to find, we living here in the Midwest, we expect to see glaciers, right? We're not that far from the glacier sheets of the last ice age. Well, we certainly would not expect to find glacial evidence in India or Australia. Those tend to be very warm climates, especially Africa. So that's, again, pieces of the rock history that, again, tells or provides insight into past environments. Okay, TJ.
okay.
Sure. Yes. You'll hear me say something to you. You might hear, if you listen very closely, you might hear a little bit of me.
Ah!
Oh, you definitely will now.
Okay.
TJ, would you like to leave yourself a message? You sure? You should leave yourself a message. Okay. Now, guys, so based on the evidence I just presented to you, which is, again, the same evidence that is gathered by Alfred Wegener over the course of his lifetime, would you believe his theory of continental drift?
Yeah.
So I want you to take 2 minutes, discuss with your partner. Would you believe the theory, continental drift, based on the evidence presented by Alfred Wegener. The downside to his rejection here, this is a really sad thing. So he spends his entire life gets all this data and basically starts publishing his papers as more and more evidence for this, more and more evidence, and here's some more evidence, and here's some more evidence. Two things he couldn't do. And for that, he was basically, his entire theory was completely rejected by the scientific community. And that was the process. Yes, we have evidence that something looks like the continents drifted apart, but he couldn't come up with the process itself. So the two things he could not answer. And this is, again, kind of important for you guys to understand, and it's going to be a big one for the test question. Couldn't explain how they moved, and why they moved. So the flaw with Alfred Wegener's continental drift theory is he could not explain how the continents move, and he could not explain why they move. So, my question for you, how were they moving? Okay. And with that, we're going to leave 1900